My name is Rahul Ramakrishnan, currently a student here at UC Berkeley, president of a consulting organization on campus called Venture Strategy Solutions.
My name is Tony. I am a junior here. I am the current president of 180 Degrees Consulting at UC Berkeley. It is a first semester organization here on campus.
My name is Mark Harmon. I'm the founder and managing partner of Auberge Resorts Collection. And we're a management company in the hospitality business. We manage and develop a collection of super high-end resorts.
My name is Linus. I'm a German exchange student studying during my senior year abroad at UC Berkeley.
I'm John De Niro. I teach at UC Berkeley. The courses I'm focusing on these days are the Introductory Computer Science course, which has grown in the last few years to have about 2,500 people enrolled over each year. And I've also been working on developing a new data science course, which isn't quite as large, but has quadrupled in the last semester. So that's something.
If I ever become a publicly known person, I would like to be a person also renowned for things I've done aligned with what I stand for.
Yeah.
I think a leader is there to serve, serving your group, serving the people that you are leading. And I think with that comes the respect of the people that are under you.
To help train leaders to be effective. And oftentimes that training involves just helping people set their own goals, helping people understand what the kind of mission of a particular group is, and then allowing them to take responsibility for fulfilling that mission in whatever way they see fit.
Leadership isn't just like only me thing. Like leadership involves everyone else that you're with as well.
You know, the world is changing. Change is a constant. You know, if you embrace change, then you're going to be more effective. You're going to see the opportunities ahead. You're going to see the dangers that are coming up. So, you know, change and growth, I think, are almost interchangeable in the sense that, you know, the two really have to go hand in hand. So if you can't grow, you're not going to adapt to change. You're not going to adapt to new circumstances, new challenges, new threats to your business. And so you have to be open to those things. No question.
The leadership style that I currently really possess is called the transformational leadership style, where you look at where you can perform changes within an organization and where you could really inspire people to make those specific changes.
I like to encourage people through personal comments and through getting to know them well and appreciating their strengths, making them grow on the personal level. This is how I motivate them.
I think it's very important that people can say what they want to say, and I will take the time to listen, because I think for an organization to run smoothly and being in that leadership position, you should take into account what everyone else in the organization has to say.
I think it really is the responsibility that you give people that helps them stretch themselves to figure out how to really contribute to something like a course. At the beginning, I declare that there's no way I could teach this class myself, and that the rest of the staff is going to do it instead. I try to make it very clear that in a class this size, I'm not the instructor for an individual student.
I communicate who I was, why we were doing this to our employees. And I found that I needed to often get out, meet with people, walk around the properties, spend a lot of time with people. Because as a leader, I think that I lead more by example rather than by dictum. And what I like to convey to the people that work for me is that we have an atmosphere of mutual respect. We treat people the way they would like to be treated. And in that style of leadership, you hopefully inspire people to be the best they can be.
Yeah, I guess my leadership style today wasn't always the same. You know, I wanted everything done my way, and I didn't really listen to what everyone else had to say, and really forced my opinions onto everyone and made sure that they liked it. Back in high school, I was captain of the tennis team, and as captain, you know, I had to choose the lineups for who to play. And we had a big tournament coming up, and there were these two two people who improved a lot over the season, and they deserve to be the number one doubles and would do a good job in the tournament. But me being my old way, I really wanted my two friends basically to be the number one doubles. We ended up losing the tournament, and because that the people I chose lost. So if I listened, the outcome could have been a lot more different, and I think that definitely changed.
I guess during my freshman year, I was asked, what kind of leadership style do you possess? And I really didn't know how to answer it. So during that semester, I really tried out different leadership styles. I tried to be more direct with people, or I rather try to take the friendlier approach. I think just through that experimenting stage, I was really able to find out what kind of leader I was. I definitely didn't like screaming at people. I definitely didn't like guilt tripping them in any way or form. But I realized the best way I work is really encouraging people, as well as just leading by example. And so it wasn't really a specific moment, but rather just a period of time where I experimented and really got to understand what kind of person I am.
And probably the toughest transition for me was when I resigned my position as CEO and I hired a new CEO to run the company. And I found it very difficult to give up the reins, and also was giving up the reins to somebody who's much more of a controlling personality. He really wanted people to go a certain direction. And I agree with the direction he's going, I agree with what he's doing, but for me it was a different style of management. So, I struggled with that. And yet at the same time, I realized I had a tremendously talented guy who just led in a different way. And what I needed to do was to take a step back and be less involved in the day-to-day business. So for us to grow from where we are today to the next level, I need a combination of what I do, just to create a culture that honors people and respects them, and they feel very good about themselves in that culture. And what my new CEO does, which is to hold people accountable, to define very high standards for those people, and to drive people to succeed and do better.
So right when I began teaching this course, never taught freshmen before, and I was the primary instructor in charge of a 500-person introductory course. And the first thing I did was pull in people who had taught the course before, not faculty, but students who had been TAs before. And after talking to them, it was clear that they were deeply experienced. And then I said, here's some project that I want to do. Here's like a general sketch. Why don't you try something out and let me know how it goes? Built a lot of a project which is now the most popular project in the course, Ants versus Zombies themselves. So those examples were enough to convince me that if you give people responsibility and you pick the right people for that, then they'll just drive things forward without you.
I chose to build kind of a recycling facility because in the community I live, there was no actual trash service. My idea was to establish something local together with the community. And I think I had set very high goals and in a very strict time frame, especially when you work with a lot of people and volunteers, people who don't depend on you or who maybe don't get something in return. Things will take a lot more time than you expect. You have to be prepared to adjust all your plans and to overthrow everything that you thought might work out. And if you have this ability, if you have this open mind set towards changing all your plans, I think then you can achieve everything. I think that's something I really learned from that project. So don't give up, just continue working even if it feels like you're not gonna get anywhere. Someday you're gonna have this idea and it's gonna help you.
Cool.
If you ever stop growing, if you ever stop learning, if you ever start challenging yourself, you're gonna be moving backwards. You're gonna stagnate, and just fall back off hill. And so, what I believe is you just have to challenge yourself and learn new things and learn from people. And so, I like to ask bigger questions and ask your peers and people in different industries, well, what would you do if? And we have a lot of really candid discussions about how we can be better. It's an atmosphere of real trust and respect. So that's great. I like to listen to the people that work for me and ask them, what can we be doing better? That's a key thing. I mean, you can always get better. You can always learn.
As a leader, as a leader that wants to improve, I'm trying not to shy away from those opportunities to talk to individuals that I'm not really close with. And I guess it's not shying away from opportunities in general. When I was asked to lead 180 Degrees Consulting for the first time as a new organization here on campus where there's so many other different consulting clubs that have great history, that was a scary thought. The thing that really caught my attention when I was making that decision was, am I going to regret not doing this, right? So, as a leader, there are going to be opportunities that come and go, but I think it's important for you to always take those opportunities as they come and not really shy away from them just because of fear of failing or not doing too well.
You have to take the time to reflect on things and then set new goals and talk about the things that we thought worked out and that didn't.
And constantly seeing okay, we have these objectives you have to get done, and now how can we effectively manage everyone's time, make sure everyone's being utilized, and make sure that the work we output is something that we're proud of, is something that I'm working on every single day.
By taking on ambitious new challenges and bringing some of the people who I've worked with along with me in that, I think that's kind of the best way to discover what is it that we don't know how to do yet, and how can we learn together how to do it.